What is up, guys, and welcome to the special edition of On the Fly, specific to the conference tournament. I can't believe that we are almost at the end of this amazing women's lacrosse season. I remember months ago wondering if we would even have a season, and it's been an up and down roller coaster whirlwind of a year. I mean, you got UNC, who's just unbelievable. It seems like everybody is beating each other and nothing is making sense. The transitive property, A plus B, the transitive property doesn't apply. Teams are killing other teams, and then those teams are going on to beat teams that beat the first team. It's craziness out there. It's craziness in the women's lacrosse game right now. But that's what we love. That's what makes it so exciting as a fan. The game is in a good place. That's what's so exciting about this weekend, is that in these conference tournaments and into these conference championships, literally anything could happen. It's super exciting to be a fan of women's lacrosse right now, so I'm going to walk you guys through two conferences that have many top 25 matchups this weekend. Let's get into it. We have the ACC and the Big Ten hosting their conference tournaments this weekend. I am going to make you the most prepared women's lacrosse fan you can be to watch these games and know what you're talking about, or at least pretend to know what you're talking about like I do. Just kidding. Let's get into it. First, we start alphabetically with the ACC. UNC handled Louisville, Notre Dame handled Duke, Syracuse beat Virginia Tech, and BC beat UVA. So for the semifinals, which are on April 30th, a Friday, I'm gonna bring you your matchups right now. We start with the rematch of the year, the North Carolina Chapel Hill Tar Heels versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I mean, God. Do you guys remember that first matchup? I did like a whole episode of this show about it. Unreal stuff. I interviewed Katie Hogue and I interviewed Kerrigan Miller on this show, and I said, hey, sick win this past weekend against the number 2 team in the country, but you got Notre Dame coming up, and they don't care. And boy, did Notre Dame not care. Notre Dame played them so well, so close, that they almost won. But UNC never loses. See, they're undefeated. Notre Dame was the team that came the closest to beating them. Friday, April 30th, North Carolina versus Notre Dame. I'm hot on Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame. I mean, they're a good school. Rival of USC, but I don't let my biases get in the way. Still, North Carolina by 5. I think this North Carolina team is battle tested. I think they're clicking at the right time. I'm genuinely very excited to watch them complete this long awaited postseason run that we've all been talking about all year. Let's see it, North Carolina. UNC Tar Heels by 5 over Notre Dame. Put UNC in the championship. We move to the other side of the bracket, where the Syracuse Orange are taking on the Boston College Eagles. I like Syracuse. Gary Gate, nice guy. Never met him, but he seems like a good dude. I also think Syracuse is one of the most consistent programs in women's lacrosse. Good year in, year out. They don't have bad years. But this year with BC, it's something special. It's something we've never seen before. It's a framework of a team that we rarely see. Offensive firepower. They spread the ball. They share the ball. Charlotte North gets a lot of credit, but they're sharing the ball. She's sharing the ball. And Rachel Hall in goal, who's an absolute brick wall. I say it a lot, but she's a brick wall. So I got BC over Syracuse in the semis, which leads us to the 2021 Women's Lacrosse ACC Championship. North Carolina versus Boston College, in my eyes at least. I mean, this is such a far prediction because these teams haven't even won yet, so this is contingent upon their win, and if they don't win, this means nothing. My prediction is that North Carolina will beat BC in the ACC Championship, but I don't think it'll be as egregious as the first time they beat them. The first time that North Carolina beat BC, way earlier in the season, BC was just finding their own, finding their identity. You gotta remember, Coco, not a lot of teams could practice in the fall, very limited interactions. The teams that we were seeing in February are not the teams that we are seeing in the end of April into May. BC has grown a lot since they first played North Carolina, and that's why I'm particularly excited for this matchup, because we're gonna get to see that growth. We're gonna get to compare the first time they played and lost by a lot to now, where I don't think they'll lose by a lot. I like North Carolina by 3 in the ACC Championship over Boston College. If that's correct, oh my God. First off, if that's correct, that means I predicted the winners of the games correctly, and then also the winner of the championship correctly and the score. North Carolina by 3 in the ACC Championship. Book it. Now, we move to the Big Ten. There are 6 top 25 ranked teams in the Big Ten. Oh my goodness. And now it's time for the matchups. Northwestern has a bye, understandably. I haven't given them a lot of credit this year, but they are, in fact, sick at lax. They are the number 2 team in the entire nation. They deserve a bye in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. Do you realize how good you have to be to get a bye in the Big Ten tournament? That's a loaded conference, and you are the best in the conference. Unbelievable. But will they be caught lacking? Will they underestimate their opponent? Only time can tell. That's why we play the games. In the battle to see who will eventually lose to Northwestern, we have Rutgers and Ohio State. I got Rutgers. Rutgers versus Northwestern in the first semifinal game. Then we move down Maryland and Michigan in the quarterfinals. I got Maryland. And Hopkins versus Penn State. I got Hopkins. Give me a Maryland-Hopkins rematch in the semifinals of the Big Ten tournament. Give me the matchup. Northwestern, they're gonna beat Rutgers. Maryland, they're gonna beat Hopkins. And we will get a Maryland Northwestern Big Ten championship, which is just special. Maryland and Northwestern have been rivals for so long before Maryland even joined the Big Ten. And now we get to see them year in and year out compete in the same conference, which is just a very, very exciting thing. We lost the Maryland-Duke men's basketball annual matchup when Maryland left the ACC for the Big Ten, but in return, we got Maryland versus Northwestern in women's lacrosse every year. We need to cherish these moments. Here is the deal with this matchup. I picked against Northwestern all year, and every single time they proved me wrong. They probably hate me. Actually, they probably don't even care, to be honest. They probably don't even know who I am or care enough about my opinion to even hate me. I'm addicted to the Maryland Terrapins. I am a huge Maryland Terrapins fan. It's hard to pick against Maryland. So it's hard to pick against Maryland, and it's also hard to pick against Northwestern. But if I pick against Maryland, nothing will really happen. If I pick against Northwestern, I think they might hate me, if they even know who I am. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go Maryland Northwestern Big Ten Championship overtime game. Oh, God. Terps by 1 in overtime. Book it. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this special conference tournament edition of On the Fly, where I highlighted just 2 of the conference tournaments, but there are a ton of conferences playing their tournament games this weekend. There will be tons of lacrosse on. Make sure you are following different conferences and teams on Twitter to catch those matchups so you don't miss a single moment of women's lacrosse. Make sure to do your part and watch a game this weekend. Subscribe to the channel down below. Drop a like, drop a comment. Let me know if you enjoy the video. And I will see you all next week where I recap these conference tournaments, which will be sick, maybe with an interview again. Should I bring back an interview next week? And then we're gonna go ahead and preview the Pac-12 tournament, which is next weekend, which I will most likely be attending. We'll see. Thank you so much. Peace.